All right, welcome to Eastchester Vault Week 8. We are back in the year 2003 with one of the better teams, maybe one of the best teams to come through Eastchester, and we have a lot of alumni here. We want to just introduce them before we get into the Eastchester Pearl River game. We first want to start with the special teams extraordinaire. He was number 22. He was Mike Gaudio. Mike, thanks for joining us, bud.
Thanks for having me, Tony. I appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. The next person, he was the starting left tackle. He's coming all the way from Arizona for, I think, this one. I think you're in Arizona or Las Vegas. I think it was number 69, Pete Nigro. Pete, welcome.
What's up, guys? How's everything going?
Good to see you, Pete.
Good to see you guys.
After that, let's see. He used to be the offensive coordinator for the Eastchester Eagles, but back in 2003, he was the starting center. Number 51, Mike Santoianni. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Panio. You know I always enjoy these things.
Appreciate you coming. All right. He was, I think, the starting will and also a starting receiver. He was a very talented, skilled position player. He was number 3, I believe, at the time. Anthony Carideo. Ant, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Panio. It's good seeing everybody.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see. After that, we have to go to the quarterback. He's next on my list. He was a 3-year starter. He was a senior. He also played a little cornerback in this game as well. Number 7, Jerry Cesarini. Jerry, welcome. And I got to ask, I forget, were you a captain as well or no?
No, I chose not to be the captain that year.
You're going to love Jerry, guys. Jerry's a good time.
Thanks, Tony.
Good to see you. All right, let's see here. So after that, coming from, I think, Las Vegas, I think I'm getting it correct now. This is a captain, a wide receiver, a defensive back, number 5, Chris Provino. Chris, welcome.
What's up, Tony?
How we doing?
Having me. Good, man.
Yeah. All right. And starting running back, tailback, he played a little fullback as well. He was a very tough guy, as you're going to see. Number 32, Kevin Snedeker. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Tony, thank you for having us. Thanks for doing this for the program.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. And we also got to mention another captain. Yes, he is still here. I just wanted to make sure. Senior, number 62. He played right guard. He played middle linebacker. He was a captain. Mike Breznicky. Mike, welcome.
What's up, fellas? And Tony, thank you for setting this up. This is great. So thank you.
Absolutely. And you're going to hear him called Beezer. That's the name that most of his teammates and Eastchester football players call him by. And I think we all wanted to kind of mention as well another captain, senior, number 40, Brendan Brocal, who cannot be with us here tonight. He's obviously watching in a better place, and he was just an unbelievable football player. We're going to see a lot of him. And I know maybe you guys wanted to just say something quick about him, but I know you guys miss him a lot.
I'll start, I guess.
Yeah, please.
Say, Brendan, you were a good – oh, go ahead. You go, Sneds.
You got it, Pete.
No, you go, my man. All right, let me take it off. All right, Brendan, you were a good friend of mine, really close throughout the years, man. I miss you so much. But, I know you're living on next to us and you're here with us in spirit. So I miss you, buddy. I love you.
That's all. That's everything we needed to say.
Yeah, big Brew, man. I mean, he was the heart and soul of this team too. He was good for a laugh, but he was as hard-nosed as you can get as a football player. But just all-around team guy, great guy. Definitely like Pete said, we all love him, miss him tremendously. I mean, just specifically like his laugh, man. I just remember him laughing, whether it be on the field or off the field, man. That was so contagious. He could get the whole group going. So definitely honoring Big Brew tonight. This is great.
Absolutely.
One of the craziest guys I know, but with the biggest heart.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see him. I put a little picture of Brendan.
We can see.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Here, put it up to the camera.
I'll hold it up right now. I don't know if you can see him. I keep this in my office, by the way. Just very,
Is that a middle school, high school picture of him too? I can't see the jersey.
From senior
High school. Wow, yeah.
Basketball?
rocking the dirt.
I will say though, Brennan leaves behind a son, so his son might play football. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be awesome. Very nice. Okay, so obviously, welcome to all everyone here. What we'll do now is I'm going to share my screen just to kind of get us into the game a little bit. I first just kind of always do this. Just want to make sure you guys can. I'm going to play just a random play. Just make sure the quality is okay. It's playing at somewhat of a pace here. So let me just make sure it's not too choppy for you guys. Give it a second to load. Looking okay?
Yeah.
All right. So
It looks old.
Yeah.
It looks old.
This is
VHS old.
EHS. Oh my god.
No high def, Tony.
no, we got it as well as we can. I actually bought a VHS to PC converter, and I'm glad it came out as well as it did because I never used this technology. But I mean, I think it comes out really good.
Use this technology, Patty. You act like it's freaking ancient, man. Holy crap.
It is ancient.
No, it's not.
Santoianni still talking trash.
These games? Who was recording these games back then?
Who was it?
Sounds like
Forte, Mr. Forte.
Oh,
Who was Forte?
Yeah, and I think we miss about, and he usually misses about 40% of the game. It's just down in the.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. Only the important parts. He only missed the important parts.
Yeah, it's like the one play we want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
And Panio, please. I was the coordinator for video, the video coordinator during. I didn't have huddle and all that other stuff.
I know.
We had 7 VCRs hooked up to, and Fred had the old camera that was used in like the 1940s in the closet.
That thing was huge too.
It was.
Yes, it was.
We still have it. It's not
You
done.
put the full tape in it, right?
Yeah.
You put the full tape in that thing.
Yep. He's
And
like,
it hurts your shoulder.
yeah, he's like, just in case the camera cuts out during scouting, we have this one as the backup.
Right. All right. Here's the introduction. So I try and say a lot about you guys in like 4 minutes, and I may miss some things. So if there's things we need to add, please let me know. But you'll see how highly I think of you guys by the end of this 4 minutes. So let's play here. All right, welcome to Eastchester Vault Week 8. Today we are going back to the year 2003. We're going to look at one of the most talented and well-balanced Eastchester football teams to ever come through the program. We have we believe 4-0 Eastchester Eagles, though they might be 3-0 at this point, facing the 2-win Pearl River Pirates at Pearl River. There's nothing really surrounding this game that kind of hypes it up, but the reason why we chose this game was it's just a great game to see, a dominant performance by a lot of different players. And when you think of the 2003 team, there are a ton of players who contribute to a very successful season. Sometimes in Eastchester football, there's 1, 2, or 3 guys that, make an impact. But this particular 2003 team, they had so many different guys making an impact. We have to start with, number 62, Mike Breznicky. He was the starting guard, and he was also the middle linebacker for the Eastchester Eagles at this point in time. You will see him on the field consistently making great plays, whether it's on defense, making a big hit, on offense, making a great block. He was definitely one of the biggest leaders of the team and one of the best football players to come through Eastchester. When you think of the last 30 years of the top players in Eastchester football history, his name is certainly in the conversation. All right, many would say he was the best player to come through the program. He wanted to play at Fordham University as a starting center and would eventually become captain. So he's captain of this team for his senior year. But after him, there's just so many players that were of a huge impact to this team. It's tough to even say who you could really start with. But Kevin Snedeker, he was a running back, also played a little bit of fullback. Explosive, short, but just tough as hell. Consistently had big runs, you'll see a big run from him versus Pearl River.
Heads, are you smiling right now?
He was just a complete football player. Tough, physical, ran extremely well.
Thanks, Tony.
Very well, and was great in coverage. He really did it all as a middle linebacker and a fullback / running back. He was number 40. Snedeker was number 32. You'll see a lot of them. After that, you'll see Joe Lorenzo. I believe this is his first year playing football. He was a force at safety, but also moved around on offense. You'll see him catching passes. You'll see him in the backfield. Seems like every time he touched the ball, number 2, Joe Lorenzo, you would get a big play from him. After that, they have talented receiver, Anthony Carideo. He was always a talented receiver, also played a little bit of defense as well. Their defense had a lot of great tacklers, Mike Lilly, or their offensive line, with Mike Santoianni, Pete Nigro, Paul Kendall, Luke Crispo, young Luke Crispo at the time. I mean, they were just a very complete team. And they were also just a well-balanced team, and they had great leadership. Their senior quarterback, Jerry Cesarini, was a 3-year starter, completed a lot of passes, number 7, had a lot of great runs. He just had command of the huddle. Chris Provino, number 5, a senior, played some receiver, and Coach Fred DiCarlo would say one of the best captains he's ever had to come through the program. Didn't play every
100%.
single snap, but just led by example. And Chris Provino went on to play also at, I believe, Hartwick College later on for in his college career. So this was a team that had a ton of talent, a ton of big names, and they played extremely well and would have a very successful regular season, going undefeated. And as many would say, one of the top teams, if not the top team, to come through Eastchester over the last 30 years. So we want to show this Pearl River game to really, give everyone a good sense of how talented and how well balanced they were. You'll see a lot of different guys making a lot of big plays, and it's just a fun game to watch. And even in the second half, you'll see some juniors like Brett Macris and Brian Latin making some big plays. It's just a great team win and a very fun game from beginning to end. So without further ado, we want to kind of welcome you to Eastchester Vault Week 8, and we will now start watching Eastchester versus Pearl River 2003. Enjoy. All right, so I know I had a couple things wrong, but in terms of this was an end of the game year, you guys said this was your last regular season game. We can confirm that now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are probably, I think, 6-0 or 7-0 at this point, and you guys are playing your last regular season game. So that makes sense now, because at the end of the game, something happens. I don't want to ruin it. That makes total sense. And was it Joe Lorenzo's first year of high school football, or was I incorrect thinking that?
Second. And then Anthony, for some ungodly reason, which I still can't understand, play sophomore year. Don't know why. But yeah, they played junior.
You won that battle though, Chris.
I think too, Tony, one thing too to mention is, I mean, there's a bunch of us here now, but this might have been the team that had the most seniors on it out of any team in Fred's tenure. There might have been 12 seniors on this team.
Tony, random fact about
20, Gaudio, 20.
There were a lot of us.
Yeah,
Tony, random fact about this senior class. We led the state in interceptions this year, Tony.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And Steve had an interception this game too, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, he does.
Why isn't he here?
I don't know.
I
where
told
the hell
you.
is he?
I told you he doesn't know how to work the computer.
He's trying to dial up his AOL.
That's great. All right, so you led the section or the state in interceptions, which makes sense because you guys had crazy good athletes in the secondary, so that makes sense. And it's an end of the season game, and you guys are going to get off to a great start. So let's just kind of get into it here. So I'm going to keep it muted for the most part until some of the big plays hit. It comes quick. One thing that we must say, Beezer, you're the kicker. So you never really came off the field, it seemed like.
Never did.
No.
Never
Yes.
came off the field.
I think this is the only play that I remember. The guy took a knee at the 1.
He slips it, looks like.
Oh yeah.
He slipped. Like me and Champy were coming in from we were confused. We were like, what did he just do? The refs blew the whistle. It was so odd.
Yeah.
I think that might have been my best kick in my career on the 1.
Yeah.
And you had field goal. Still the best one. I did 4 times now.
All right, so this is defense up here. They're on the goal line. First down, they try an inside handoff. I think Bees gets through right there. I know it's tough to see.
And I would have bet all the money in the world that one was a safety. But for some reason, the refs didn't want it.
It wasn't.
No.
It certainly looks like it. This ref is walking across. I mean, they're barely out sort of thing. And then
I was really upset. I remember that.
yeah.
He probably gave him a mulligan.
2nd and 11 coming up here. Jerry, let's talk to you. Do you remember this play at all? Let's see. Wait, try a little wheel to your side, and you were there for it. You remember almost picking this?
I remember him being midair and me just laying him out completely. He was in the air catching the ball, and I hit him right at his thigh, and I think he's still in the air.
I'm confused, Jerry. It looks like
Looks like you tried to pick it and you fell.
Wait,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like Jerry jumped and tried to pick the ball.
And dropped it.
No, it's definitely me laying somebody out. 100%.
If Jerry laid someone out, that's it.
Okay, got it. All right.
That's what I
Good show.
Oh,
What a-
oh.
All right. Well, after that great hit by Jerry, we're going to be 3rd and 11 here, and they're going to try and get out of the end zone, and this is what happens. Let's take a look. I think it's a combo of Jerry and Beezer, but I might be wrong. Let's see.
I can see it better now. And now it's better to see. It was hard to see before. Oh, yeah, that was
Whoever that
definitely me.
was on the other side knew right away. Oh, Brucal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Brew was in on that too.
It seemed like a bunch of guys where I just felt like Jerry was coming off the edge along with Lilia a little bit maybe, but
Yeah.
cleans it up a bit. There's a bunch of people there.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
came
Beezer
right
was
off.
like that completely.
So in that was that Chloe defense, and then when that two back used to come down, I
Right.
used to immediately come up.
Yeah, so it's like a corner blitz, right? The wing came down, and then you just fly up. And
Right, every time. So he would try to go from middle linebacker or to Lilia and the Will, and the Will would try to cut in, and I was just right behind him, and it was just like easy.
Gotcha. Great start, boys. Up 2-0 after a kick, and then I don't know what happens here, guys. I don't know how this play happens.
So this play is offsides by them, but it was never called by the refs. And I remember Fred screaming at the refs saying, "How can they snap the ball, run all the way downfield, almost recover it, and not be offsides?"
I've never seen this after a safety. So, as you can tell, they line up in punt formation. They snap it. They start running down, and then they punt it.
Yeah, the refs
Yeah,
blew that one.
they shouldn't be allowed to leave the line till he kicks it.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Snap it. I've never seen that. It's supposed to just be like a free kick.
Yeah, I don't think they're supposed to be able to line up in punt formation either.
I don't think the refs ever seen it either. That's why they were so confused.
Well, what's amazing is you somehow get a penalty. Did Coach Fred blow a gasket or something? And
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh man.
This is a penalty where you should get as a coach because you're there on looks like the 40 or so, the 30, and then you're all the way back here. And then credit Coach Mayer with this call here because you guys are a running team for the most part, but this is how we start off the drive.
Look at that form.
Bro.
Cow, right?
Yeah.
First time you get Brucal going a little bit in the passing game. I love this concept. Now, Anthony, was this you or Joey coming across, or maybe Mike?
That was Enzo.
This is Enzo. So this is a really good play. He has a short motion, and then it comes on a drag, which for 2003 is something you didn't see too much. But Brucal comes out of the line, so both guys are open. Jerry, do you remember throwing to Brendan, or do you remember throwing to Lorenzo?
No, I'm pretty sure that was Brucal.
Yeah.
So he would come out of the backfield. This was Waggle. So we run crossbuck, and the fake went so well. He goes right up the middle, and it just pops out on an out.
Yeah.
I think Sneds is the only running back here, but I would have to say the blocking downfield all season was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yo, getting his nose dirty, springing him free.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Pat Cunningham, right? 12, he played a little tight end for you as a junior, right? You get the big block down.
Yeah. Oh, there's a crack down there, too. Who's that, Bone?
Might have been.
No, I'm upfield, getting thrown to the ground there. So.
I think I used to throw the ball and block all at the same time.
Actually, you did, Jerry. I've seen you lay some blocks down.
Kevin's in a fullback on this play, and
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I think that
Oh, because they
formation
wanted to
Coach
get the
Bayer dubbed
touchdown
it
to
as
Brandon.
what was it, Ringo or Gringo, something like that. When they were running
Gringo.
back.
Gringo.
Wait, Gringo. He called it Gringo.
Yeah, they wanted to get Brendan the touchdown because
Big catch.
the catch.
Yeah. All right, so I think we have a touchdown coming here, the first one of the day. So now we got the usual look in the backfield, and we'll get Kevin going. Let's see it.
Upper right. Upper left.
Woof.
Didn't block a soul on that play.
No, are you kidding? I was there.
It was just you were creating a nice path for him here,
Yeah,
Bees.
that's it.
Bees, they were just running away from you at that point. They
Exactly.
wanted no business with you. After you safety twice, they wanted no business with you.
Well, I just noticed this. So Anthony Carideo used to play some tight end too.
No, it was
Yeah.
goal line.
They used to call me the utility guy. I used to be everywhere.
Coach Bayer had a phase though. He'd throw like any of us in at.
Yeah,
tight
he
end.
would.
Yeah.
He would throw.
I played tight end. Anthony.
We
you
didn't
have to
really
remember-
have like a senior year. We didn't really have like a tight end guy. Like no one
That was a
really
double
set
on
tight end.
double.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to remember,
Later-
Coach Mayer probably worked this out like in practice. Like, Carideo, come here.
Later. No, I remember later on in the year we started playing more seniors at tight end and like all
Yeah.
over the field. So like Chris said earlier, he would put me, Chris, even Lorenzo played tight end a little bit, just on double. So
Wow. But it always felt like Pat Cunningham was in there, but maybe I was incorrect.
yeah, Pat Cunningham was the starting tight end. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Eventually a quarterback his senior year. And they're running their wing T stuff. This time a handoff, and oh my God, Brendan with his first big hit. These are cleaning up.
You know, there was a really good DN there also. I think he's 58. What was that kid's name? Nick.
Oh, 66, and Gregorio. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of things at the end. He set up a lot for Beezer and Brew in the middle.
Definitely.
It was a tough son of a bitch.
Even Pulowski too. I think it was his first year playing organized football. 76. You'll see him in a lot of places.
I think we get Jerry. We get you through here on a big tackle for loss. So you talked about earlier how when the wing blocked down, you came flying up on a blitz, and you have success here. Doing that, you take on a block and get a big tackle there.
TFL says, love it.
Yeah. Also, Lilia's in on the tackle. So Lilia's first name is Steve or Mike?
No, it's Mike.
Okay. All right. That's what I put in the stat. Third down coming. They try. This is great. They try an inside handoff, third and 12, a little buck. And you guys invented the buck, I feel like, so you were all ready for this. That's Pulowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a
Pulowski, man. He had by the end of the year, he was phenomenal.
Another senior.
Pulowski, a force he was recking with.
Senior, yeah.
He was a big kid.
It was a force. He was getting
dude.
angry.
You guys get the big 3 and out?
That was the thing about football. It brought a lot of different people together.
Oh, my. Ooh. Scary pun here.
Jerry Murphy flushed after this.
I haven't heard flushed in so long.
So, Tony, we had the flush system. Did you ever hear that?
Oh, yeah, we've heard of it. Yeah,
It stuck around. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
It did? Oh,
Yeah.
good.
That definitely stuck around.
Flush system.
All right, first down coming. Always felt like Jerry had good command of the huddle. Time an inside handoff.
He was asking Brew Callan Sneds what the play was.
No way.
Screaming
He
at
was
me.
the boss. I trusted Jerry all the way, man.
Yeah.
There's a nice pass from Jerry to, I think it's Carideo out there. Little hitch route.
You know what was nice about the whole season, actually, every time I came up to the line, I was really directing which way we were going to go with it. Me and Beezer would pretty much be talking about where right or left to go. It was just,
Yeah, you could.
it was just,
You can tell.
Jerry,
You definitely take your time. You look around, and then you seem like you call a play. I think you maybe went on the number system. I feel like I remember that when I first started out playing.
yeah.
Yes,
Coach
even on that hitch route too, that's an option play. I think it was called 32. It's either a hitch or a fade, depending where the corner is.
Yeah. No, you guys read it well there.
Adjustment. Yep.
Coach Mayer really at the end of the season really just let us ride with it. We were really, he just trusted us. It was our third year as our seniors, and we really knew the offense well, and we really knew what the defense was doing. It was fun.
Yeah.
it was fun.
Sned's gonna
We
break.
were prepared. Oh man.
He's
All
gonna
right, everyone quiet. Sneds is breaking a run.
Yeah. You can see
No, but
Coach Fred on the sideline. He has the arms up.
Hey, Carideo, downfield blocking.
Always.
Great
There's
run.
a picture.
Blocking, brother.
We
There's a
have to
picture of
mention
that.
Beezer throws someone to the ground. Poor number 70. Yep, he's down on the ground.
I like how
But
we're
No, but
all.
just to touch on what Jerry was saying, I always felt prepared. You know what I mean?
You guys
Like,
have the hitch on still?
Guys, Steve just woke up from his nap, so he might be joining us.
All right, I'll keep an eye out for him. Steve, a.k.a. Mike Lilia.
He's
You
like,
got
what the
laundry on the
heck?
field, Sneds. You didn't score, bud.
We used to count how many pancakes
Did
people
that
would
get
have.
called back for
Oh yeah, that one got called
for
back,
an
right?
illegal?
That's
Was
why-
that the
that's
illegal
why-
block in the back they called on
That's
that
why
play?
his hands were up in the air.
It could have been Gaudio.
I think it was a legal block in the back, and we couldn't figure out who they called it on either.
Sneds,
Yeah, but he scores the next play.
Sneds, this is a great run, but I just want to show the left side of the line here. You know, Pete Nigro, I think Kendall on this side, Bees are pulling Santa. I mean, you guys gash him open here. That's a big hole.
Boom. Look at that.
Yeah, man. Look, all
Look
I
at
got to
that.
do is read. All I had to do was read it, Tony.
At 5'2", 130 pounds, baby.
Tony, let me say something about my left tackle. The
Yeah.
first game, he let somebody through, and I got sacked, I think the only time the whole year.
Yeah.
And I went into the huddle, I grabbed him by the face mask, I said, oh, you ever do that again, you're not playing anymore.
That's
And
true. That's a
after
true
that-
story.
Wow.
That's a true story.
And after that, he did not let one person in the whole entire year. He was a beast. He was a little guy. He had a
I got-
Mighty Mouse tattoo on his arm. He's like a little guy playing left tackle.
Just to let you know, this is a little inside here. So the year after I coached, and Coach Joe sat me down and talked to me. He was our offensive line coach, and he literally, Pete, he put his neck out on the line for you to play.
Oh, I
And-
know. I know.
And because I'm I'm sure everyone remembers. What was it? Tesu?
Tesu.
Oh yeah, that's
A
right.
Camp
But Taste you
Sloan
got
legend.
a disease at Camp Sloan. Remember that
That's-
fucking disease
yeah.
you got?
The only thing I remember about that is when Beezer goes, "I am not effing blocking that guy."
Yeah, because bro,
He had, like, poison
bumps
oak
all
all
over.
over his body.
It was all over him. It was all
Yeah.
It was
He got
all
like
over his
poison
body,
ivy
bro.
or something. He had like poison ivy all over his body.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh my God, Beez,
That's great.
you,
And bro, I
it
think
must have been our,
Pulowski got it
funny.
too.
Oh my God, you were so
Pulowski got
funny about
infected
that.
too.
yeah, Beez, it was literally during like team, and you just went like, "Yo, Fred, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm
And
done."
then Santa, I remember Pulowski was drooling, and you were like, "I'm not touching you." Remember Pulowski was drooling to like intimidate you, and you're like, "Dude, I'm not touching you at all."
But no joke, Pete. I'm sure teams looked at us, and said like,
Oh, and
look at the left
targeted me
tackle.
to get at the quarterback, bro. Like,
Yeah.
100%.
And they were
Trust
wrong.
me, I know. Coach Joe, me and Coach Joe talk actually.
No, but Pete was one of the hardest hitters on our team.
Pete, for someone who came after, you guys, I knew a lot about you, and how I would just say the word underrated you were. Is you weren't by any means, the weak link of that offensive line. And in a lot of ways, you were one of the strengths of the offensive line. So even though you were a smaller guy, you were certainly
line.
I appreciate that.
Wouldn't replace one guy on my line, man.
Yeah.
I think to note too, like Pete, to give you credit, like also like in practice, like you were full go every play, like which made everybody better. Like you would just like nonstop, like just you would hit people like you did not care. Like you,
I'm still suffering for it now with all the concussions and shit,
I think we all, but God, I think we all pushed each other, man, because like the practices were hard.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I would say like that would be the reason I would be here, right? Like I'm not a starter, but like I would say, and even like Tony's doing this for younger generations, like every person on the team matters a lot.
1,000.
The harder you practice, the better your team is gonna be. So like you may never start, you may never get a touchdown, like it doesn't matter. Like I always say, like, and Pete will agree, like our game days were like Tuesdays. Like
it was.
Like we went as hard as we could to stop our offense, which made them better. Like
you know what it was? It was the scout team. You're playing against kids like Kevin Murphy, who when he was a senior, he was a really good running back. That was a scout we had to go against them. Yeah. It's all scouts.
Everybody too. Like even Beezer would play 7-on-7 with us and just light kids up. Like it was just like like Steds, right? Like you'd get tackled by Beezer at 7-on-7. You'd be like, "What the hell's going on?" Like this is crazy.
Dude, scout offense was by far the toughest part of my week.
Yeah.
By far.
I honestly want to say that it brought with. This is like the first time, since I was in the program, and like that, some guys solely played offense and some guys solely played defense.
Right.
So like, I always thought that was good, and that was like, showing that our program was moving into the right, space. So like there was only certain guys that played offense. So our starting line sometimes was our scout offensive line too, because that's all they did was really play offense. So.
There was not to interject, but I feel like I try and preach to the players now that are one-way players, like you should be on scout offense and willingly be on scout offense to try and make our defense better. And it's like
100%.
I feel like they're too good for it, and I'm definitely going to share that message that you guys just said about if you're just playing one way, that's great. You're going to be fresh for the game, but you should be on scout offense or scout defense, just pushing the starting team to be better. And I feel like we got away from it. People like are too good for it, and I can't stand it. So I'm glad you guys said that.
Yeah.
That's the wrong mentality.
Pete, we would wear yellow to school on Tuesdays for like.
We'd have our wristbands.
We would wear like yellow, like we would have the pennies ready to go. Like we were all about Tuesdays, man. Scout D was like the best day of the week. It really was.
Remember when we pissed off the starting offense because we just kept stopping him? I don't think it was senior year.
Sophomore year.
No, it was when we were sophomore.
It was sophomore year.
Yeah.
That's a great
And I was on
they got
scout
so
team
mad at
too.
us.
Yeah.
But Fred loved it.
Yep.
That's the best.
Fred loved it.
They were so frustrated.
I was on
And I remember Fred was screaming at them, if you can't beat these guys, how are you going to win on Saturday? Like, he was giving it to them, too.
Fred played a lot of mind games. I was technically the starter over Derek.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Right?
I
remember that? Say that all the time to Derek. He did say that all the time.
Hey, that didn't cause controversy between us at all. But you know what? If it pushed us, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Exactly.
So if we head back to the game here, I think you guys are going to notice here, going back to the offensive line. So we just had a big play to the left, now a big play to the right. Now I think before we watch the play, everyone just watch our boy 62, Beezer, the right guard on this play for this touchdown.
Boom.
I don't remember this at all.
I really had a good game at fullback.
You destroyed that kid.
Yeah, Beezer gets it.
He fell when you were coming. He knew it was coming.
Oh, God. All right. I wasn't selfish that time I watched Beezer.
Yes, that was a nice block too, man.
Yeah, you got Chris.
Thank you, sir. I learned from the best.
Yeah, Santa blocks out as the nose guard. I guess the nose guard to the left. Christopher blocks out. Pat blocks out. Beezer gets him, and Snedeker goes through. And that's a straightforward Eastchester football. And Brendan's a great running back. But Brendan ran through clean there.
Yeah, pretty much untouched.
Yeah.
All stop.
That hole was, you could fit a truck through that hole.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That was a weird formation for us, like side by side.
Yeah, strong.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, what was that?
Strong pro right, I think you guys would have called it if I remember Coach.
Yeah, pro right.
It's to run belly. You know, it makes sense. You know, you guys have more people to the tight end, and Pro River didn't adjust.
We didn't do that very often.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't do that very often.
We should have did that more.
I'll text him. I'll text Coach Blair.
Yeah, okay. Write that down.
And he's through again. We got a lot more scoring in this quarter. Oh, he might have missed this one. No, he got it. My bad. I think there's one he does miss. Not too many. And every great Eastchester football team I've noticed has just a little issue on kickoff. It's been a bunch of teams. The 2007, 2015, 2003, 2008 always had a little bit of an issue. So let's watch here.
Oh. Did I just get leveled?
Okay.
I think that was Brett who tackled him too.
What number finally got to him?
I couldn't tell, but he deserves a pat on the back.
I think it was Brett.
I think it's Brett.
Yeah, probably. He was really fast.
Yeah, Brett was fast, man.
Yeah.
He was good.
And you want to know why it was great hustle? You'll see the next couple plays here. They try and run an inside buck again.
No way.
Maybe a yard. Maybe.
Tony, we used to get so upset if they got 2 yards. We'd be so upset about it. You had no idea.
Try to toss this way to 30.
Damn.
Oh, my goodness. These are
good. Nice. These.
That is crazy.
The guy's still in the ground.
Dude, I didn't even have a chance to get there.
Hey, Kevin, why
that wasn't the play, right? He's hanging out with the guy Jerry hit in the second play of the game.
That wasn't the play, right?
What? No.
I'm just looking down at the poor kid. I'm like, wow, that's nice. I've been there.
This is a third down play, and I think this is a great play by Brendan Brookhouse. Let's keep an eye on him, 40. They try a little bootleg.
Oh, B.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Open field tackle.
He was faster than he looked, wasn't he?
Oh,
yes.
He was so fast.
Yeah, he was
strong too.
He was just such like a pure athlete. He was huge and he was quick. Like he was so quick.
Santa,
another top hitter of the team.
Santa,
what's up?
He's Cutson-esque.
Yeah.
They look very similar with the way they play.
Yes, they do.
Wow. I never really noticed. They're very similar. That's great speed, great play by Brendan. And listen, so many teams that I've coached, I know Coach Santa's coached, team that's inside the 10 or has a big kick return like that, they're walking in on the first or second play. Like, you guys were obviously a great team because they have not gotten a yard yet on the goal line, and you guys must be fired up now for fourth down.
Oh, we hate yards. We hate giving up yards.
All right, fourth down coming. Let's take a look what happens.
Go, BZ.
Brendan, again, he looks like the quarterback slips a little, but Brendan's there. I think that's Carideo there. And the coverage is great. Lorenzo's on the back end. And what a great stop.
Team stop.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so you get the change of possession coming. And up 16-0 here. Coach Mayer is going to elect to go to the pass, and there's a lot that happens here. So let's take a look at this one.
5-step drop. Interception.
Boom.
That's where Bees broke his collarbone and he ran off the field and started throwing up. I remember that.
Yep.
Was that this play?
That was that play.
So let's go through before the big hit by Beezer. So it looks like this is one of those things that we have. This looks like Lorenzo open on a drag, but they have a guy sitting there because there's only 2 people in the route. So probably just Jerry, someone you didn't anticipate being there, sort of thing.
Yeah, he's running an in here. It's like a nice opening, and then he's just sitting in the flat. He doesn't even move.
Yeah,
he stayed there the whole time. He's just playing in the zone there, and no one's to take him out of the play. You're right. There's only 2 people running. Definitely not my fault.
You got a little pressure too. God damn that offensive line. They
were the best. No, they were great.
It was on the back end. I didn't block well. I didn't see that guy.
So I actually met that kid.
Okay, so yes, tell us about the story, Beezer, because I think you almost killed someone, but now you know him, so that's interesting.
Well, not know him. So I live the town over from Pearl River right now. My girlfriend is from Pearl River, and we were out, and he was there, and like the connection was made, and like his whole claim to fame is that he held on to the ball. I was like, the only thing I wanted was to get the ball out. And so it was pretty funny. Like this was like last year.
Oh my God.
Wow. And then I just remember him running off and then throwing up.
Have you ever hit someone so hard that they threw up again? Like that's like almost unheard of.
Yeah, no.
So happy I threw that pick.
Yes, thank you, Jerry. This is good content. God.
It ended that kid's day.
Yeah.
You definitely got the hit jar that game.
Yeah.
Hit jar.
Hit jar.
Not allowed anymore. Not allowed anymore. We're not allowed to talk.
It's not allowed, right?
What?
Not allowed anymore.
Can we even say the word hit jar?
It's against school policy now, probably, and stuff.
I think it's against football
It's
policy.
like targeting.
I actually think it's against NFL policy too now, Pete.
Yes, it's against all.
Yeah, probably.
Tony, the hit jar was great. You used to throw in $1 before the game. Whoever had the biggest hit got the money.
Yeah.
The Beezer and Brucal win every week?
Pretty much.
I think Lilia won a couple times,
Yeah.
too.
That makes sense. So obviously a tough pick there. Gets Pearl River good field position. You guys just stopped them. Now look at the play they run.
Oh, wow. Jet pass.
Wow.
I mean, great play call, but this is kind of their sign telling you that you're a little better than them if they're running a trick play there.
Did they get it?
Oh, they got it. There was a penalty, but I'm not sure if it's
that's Jerry Murphy's side. I see 23.
They run some funky fake here. This one's
another fake.
Bang.
Brucal got a pick on that one.
Son of a B.
I thought that was a messed up snap.
Might have been.
They weren't bad, Pearl River. But
looks like Anthony Carideo is out of bounds there, so gets us field position. And I'm fairly certain we're going to have the answer we need here, so let's take a look.
Those legs are moving so fast.
They don't do that anymore, Bees.
Is this another Sneds play? Please, Tony, please rewind that. I want Sneds to walk us through the play here.
All right, Sneds, take us through it.
Is it crossbuck?
It's
Is it crossbuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody killed their man. I had one guy to beat.
And all I did to fake.
Great job, buddy. Great job of walking us through.
Pete Nigro and the left guard, I think Kendall. Really good double team.
Kendall.
Good double team. Get up to the linebacker a little bit. Receiver.
Where does the linebacker go?
The middle backer goes
I think
in.
he's sucked in with Brew. He's sucked in with Brew.
Correct.
Yeah, the fake.
You have to respect Buck, right? I mean, Brucal is going to get a bunch of touches in there.
He always sold the fake every time.
Yeah.
He did. He did.
We both kind of – I think all three of us, Jerry, and even Enzo too, we were all committed to, carrying out our role, whether it was our ball that play or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Mayer is big on carrying out the fake.
Yeah.
Every time.
I think for our team, I think we were very selfless, especially at the skill positions. Who's playing fullback, who's playing tailback, who's playing receiver, tight end, stuff like that. And Bees, this is I know it's not the glamour shot for the hit, but Beezer's block, coaching offensive line, he hooks them, and Sneds bounces out. Good vision by Sneds, but other inexperienced linemen and not as good as Beezer, they would just try to kick that guy out, and we would get 2 yards there. And just hooking that guy opens up that whole entire outside. It's a freaking great play, man.
What an answer, too. After the pick, you guys didn't get down on yourselves. Answered right back, 80-yard touchdown.
Someone met me down there.
Yeah.
It was always Pat. Pat ran down to congratulate everybody, I think.
The sharp cheddar cheese.
And a rare miss from Beezer on the extra point. 22-6.
All I told Pat was just sometimes think that you're fumbling it and just pitch it to me. And he only did it twice, and I was really upset with him.
Please. When you scored that touchdown against Kennedy on that pick, you flipped the ball behind you and someone caught it.
I think it was Crispo.
I think it was Crispo. Yeah, I think it was.
That was during play?
Yeah.
No, yeah, he intercepted it.
No, I thought Beezer scored on
he
that
threw
play.
it behind him, right?
No, he did.
Yeah.
Beezer scores and throws it like this, and Lou sophomore Lou catches it oh.
Yeah, like that.
I think that was Brian Latin with the last tackle.
There's a pick.
Is that Bone Scoot?
Yeah, Carideo.
I thought it was on third down.
What was Latin, a DN?
Yeah.
Sam. I think it was Sam.
Oh, okay. All right, well.
No, it was strong end.
Let's give Carideo some love here. This is a great read on a slant. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Bone.
Looked like Dion there.
Score.
Wow, look at the moves. Go, baby.
Little nifty. Ant, do you remember this play? It looks like you just read the quarterback's eyes really well.
Oh, yeah. I remember this. I was peppering back a little bit. And then I read the eyes, jumped the slant. And then I remember Freddie used to yell at me and Lorenzo all the time, and even Jerry, that he always said, it's okay to go out of bounds. And we said no. And we always cut back in, and he used to yell at us all the time.
What do we used to yell after
Bingo!
Bingo.
So Freddie's yelling at me right now to go out of bounds. I'm like, absolutely not.
He would also Fred took credit for every interception. He'd be like, I put you right there. I put you right in that position. He would say that after every turnover. I put you right there.
Well, as a coach, I'll definitely say Pearl River doesn't decide to run 7 on a route here, so leaves Anthony free. And, if he maybe runs an out or something or a drag, maybe a different story, but, hey, we'll take it.
Yeah, what does 7 do?
Nothing.
I think he probably looks like he was supposed to go in motion.
Well, if he stayed or went in motion, I was supposed to step back,
right?
Pepper back.
Yeah. That's what you did. Great read.
Bingo, 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 bingo! It was like a bandit was on the loose. We were all running down the field with the goal.
And see here. May have a big play coming. May touchdown. One play. Let's see.
Missed it.
Great fake by Jerry on that.
See, we used to fake out the camera.
What? Listen, honestly, where is the ball? You can't tell.
It's
Fuck.
Buck.
Is that ice
Right?
Buck all day.
Fuck.
The handoff
Good
was
mesh
so
point.
Oh,
fast.
fuck.
Remember the
Ball.
mesh. The mesh.
It's everything good, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, so they take the tight end out of it. Looks like you guys are an eye spread here, and you guys just ran that crossbuck for a touchdown. So now you go to the inside handoff to Brucal, and like you really can't tell where the ball is.
No, it was right shoulder to shoulder. We used
Yeah.
to touch.
That's Tony. That's twins left. Yeah.
Twins left, yeah.
Twins left.
We call it spread now, but yeah, you're correct. That was what it was called. Great block here by Beezer and Santa. Going down. Beezer just throws another guy on the floor. Must be fun just throwing on the floor, Beezer. I mean, I think I've done it once in my career.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it's fun.
How many times in this game, dude? Like,
Four, maybe 5.
yeah.
Madden pancake stats. Okay.
And I felt like we maybe have a penalty here.
Probably.
Oh no,
Got those,
Yeah,
sorry.
got those
these refs, Rockland refs hated us.
Yes,
Yep.
they still do.
Look at me. I'm probably yelling at them like, you're
face mask on. Never mind. They like us. Declined. Touchdown. Thank you.
Let me say, the fact that Provino's here talking to the ref, I feel a lot more comfortable than Jerry. No offense.
I played.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's a lot more level-headed.
Yeah, I wasn't talking.
You
about
guys? Yeah.
Beezer makes up for the missed kick by kicking this one to the moon.
You'll notice something too with this team, Tony. I think you guys could say this too. If you notice on kick returns and punt returns, never always good field position. I don't know how many punts like guys like Anthony and Lorenzo and
Right.
Jerry Murphy dropped. We're always in good spots for that.
So crucial. Yeah, no, we hate.
Very underrated thing, even if you don't return them at this
it.
level.
The first quarter.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's weird. The first quarter takes forever. The rest of the game flies. So you'll see.
We scored 29. We hung 29 points in one quarter.
Yeah, you did.
That's crazy, man.
This poor team's not getting anything inside on you. This time Pulowski makes the play.
Fucking Steve Pulowski, man.
Let's see. Got second. and long.
That's one curse out of 2 Panio gives us.
No, it's
just to let you
okay. Oh, what
You're
a,
not supposed to call it out. You're supposed to just keep going.
I think this is Lilia coming off the edge here. They run a little option, and Lilia stays home on the quarterback for a big tackle for a loss.
I'll tell you one thing. Fred, to this day,
Yes.
says Lilia was the best Sam
Yeah.
he has ever had.
On ball Sam, 100%.
I directed him every single play.
I know. That's the whole thing. Because this is the first year of the defense that Fred put in. That whole Cleo defense. That's now
Yeah.
the big defense. So I remember Lilia used to be like explaining to Lilia, they used to be like, you have him one-on-one. And then he'd be like, Jerry, what do I do?
I used to hold him by the collar, and I used to
Yep.
direct him where to go, and he used to
Yep.
like growl at the other team. as
I remember
he was
that.
going to the line.
I remember that we were at where was our scrimmage? Westlake. And I remember Lorenzo had Beezer. And this is at a scrimmage, by the way. Jerry has Lilia and Lorenzo has Beezer, and then like Westlake walks out, and at that time they're C and we're B, right? We're B at this point.
Yeah.
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 And it was hilarious because like you just see like the like woo, 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 and then like they're holding them back, and it's like a scrimmage, and we're like by far the team taking it like the most serious at the scrimmage.
It was also
That's
funny.
great.
You have Santa could attest to this because he talks about your team a lot. So he'll always mention like, all right, 2003 is like whenever he explains the defense to people, he starts talking to the safeties. In 2003, we had this guy named Beezer. He led the team in tackles, but the guy that was second in tackles was our safety, Joe Lorenzo. And on this defense, we want the safety to be up as a tackler here. So he always goes back to you guys, talks about Lilia all the time. He has a special place for you guys. He really does. Let's take a look at this third down pressure here. Third down and long again. This time a junior gets through. Let's look.
Wow.
Pressure from Crispo Santoianni, but San Gregorio gets through. And you guys talked about Nick already being a good defensive end as a junior. He gets through there for the sack. And again, they're punted from their own end.
Just aggressive, the aggression.
Getting home.
They line up to punt again.
They
Looks like you guys are coming for a punt block almost.
Yeah.
Almost through.
Oh.
And you know who we haven't talked about yet, guys? I kind of just mentioned him and ruined it, but Joe Lorenzo. So Joe Lorenzo, I felt like if he wasn't getting the ball at receiver, you sometimes just throw him in at tailback. And I felt like every time he touched the ball as like an observer, he did something good with it. So we'll get him going on this drive a little bit.
Yeah, like his first 3 carries were like 3 long touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here he
It was
goes.
like Reggie Bush.
We used to bust Sneds' chops about this.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was more explosive, probably.
Probably.
Oh, no.
Probably.
And more. Well, he was definitely more elusive. I don't know about more explosive, but he was definitely more elusive.
It's an
I
afterthought.
felt like you guys had a good competition.
We pushed each other, definitely.
That's a little Reggie Bush, Lendell White action right
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like you throw him in there like Reggie Bush, you touch the ball and just score.
Well, I think like our
Yeah.
first, I think B is right. I think like our first 5 games, he had like 6 carries for 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely the home run hitter. Definitely.
And I know it's an afterthought at this point, but Beezer has pancaked another guy. Poor defensive end to the bottom of the screen. We're just going to stop mentioning at this point.
But we used to count pancakes too. That was good.
Wow. Yeah, that guy got it.
Oh man. The pancake stack was thick.
All right. Now they move Lorenzo out to the wide side. Jerry directing traffic.
All right.
Audibling. Uh-oh. I think a pass is coming.
I don't know. Probably not.
Buck or belly.
Oh. What a catch. Who was that? Was that
Hey,
good catch, Chris?
That's Provino.
yeah.
That was the call. Hammer 25. No!
Oh, he's
No, we're up by a lot. It's fine now. It's okay.
Nice catch, Chris.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, Chris,
Jumped
I
right
literally
from the
threw it at the
defender.
other team.
You notice too, Jerry doesn't take any snaps out of shotgun. I mean, that's probably so foreign now. So
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
no,
No,
nothing
yeah,
out of shotgun.
that quick pass was always a one-step drop.
That's it.
One-step throw.
All right, we're going back. Lorenzo's back in the backfield here, and let's see what goes on here. Got good blocks, but he broke a tackle to get in there. Looks like he almost runs someone over, which when I
Yeah.
think of Lorenzo, I don't think of, but
He
tough.
could do that.
Yeah.
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 1, 2, 3.
Just I think if Chris remembers probably too, but in Blue Devils I blocked for Lorenzo. He was the running back. I was a lineman, so he has more experience than me.
That's crazy. I always just thought of him as a receiver that kind of just sprinkled in at receiver because he was so fast, but that was a physical run.
No, he do it all. I mean, he's one guy too. He'd run. I mean, you'd try to block for him. You didn't know where he was going. I mean, he'd confuse you. You know.
Right.
We had so much talent at that position. Like I think who Kamer like leads has like the most yards ever, right? Like
Yeah,
Kevin Murphy.
77, yeah.
I think it would easily be said that Brucal, Snedeker, or Lorenzo, if they were the solo guy
Yeah.
for their respective senior year,
Right.
they would have blown that number away too. I mean,
Interesting.
it goes back to what
Yeah.
Santa said too. Like there was nobody was selfish in that backfield.
Right.
Everybody did their job when their number was called. They knew exactly what to do. No one cared about stats or touchdowns.
Yeah.
We just wanted to win.
Yeah, and that you know, that's how it should be.
Sure.
Always.
Yeah. And just going back and, you know, coaching high school kids and, you know, for so long after this, like what I think, you know, Tony talks about with like, you know, the downhill running and all this other stuff, you kind of don't realize, like people, I don't think many people realize, like we had a lot of athletes on our team.
Yeah.
Beezer, Lorenzo, Sneds, you know, Carideo, you know, everybody.
They're
like,
all amazing.
you know, like, you know, and Jerry, you know, like you were saying something about shotgun for that, like, you know, Jerry's an athlete too, man. You know, like we had athletes and
100%.
you really don't notice it and you think of the downhill running, but you know, Brendan, we had a lot of and we didn't have the off-season program that the kids these days had where like, you know, we would go and work out and do like we showed up August 15th and Fred was like, all right, let's do the conditioning test. And everyone was like, oh gosh. So, like,
Back then,
there was
it
no
fast camp, Neuroshell camp, fast camp. That was really it. I mean,
yeah. And I think we piloted fast this year.
That's when we met
actually,
Tom Armano.
Yep.
Oh,
Fast
Bill
camp.
Romano.
But like this
Fast
was
camp.
like you showed up Neuroshell camp, and a week later you showed up to football, and then we would do some stuff with Fred and like the off season, but it wasn't like it is now. It's like, you know, but we had some athletes like that, and I don't think many people realize that. Like we had a lot of athletes.
Yeah, you think downhill running, you know, and going right at people, physical football, but no, you guys are great in space too, and it shows you guys led the state in interceptions. Very talented team in terms of the secondary stuff. And kind of piggybacking off that, we're going to see a big play by the secondary now, so let's watch.
Is that Brucal?
To do it all.
yeah, I think he had two
Big
that
crew
game.
everywhere.
That was the first one.
Yeah. Well, again, Jerry coming off the edge here for that Sacco solo stuff, gets pressure. Latin gets pressure. And
I just miss him.
hey, that's a good trade-off. Miss a sack for an interception, the good pressure there. I'm not sure who's on the backside there. Might be Lilia. Not sure.
I think it is Lilia.
Yeah, he was on my side.
99, Lilia.
Place at the table.
Vladimir.
Place at the table.
Vladimir, not Vladimir.
Latimer.
Vladimir, the Russian.
Didn't he play? He played, right? Did he play?
Vlad? Remember Vlad?
Yeah, Vlad played,
Oh,
right?
Vlad did play.
Vlad, yeah.
He did play.
Another
Like half a season, I think, or something.
That push is ridiculous.
I mean, this is insane. I mean, you guys are killing them at this point. I mean, you just have all the momentum. Pat Cunningham gets a pretty good block here. Pete's getting through on
right?
that side, yeah.
Oh, little Matt Blickman at the bottom of your screen, number one.
Oh, yeah, little
Yeah.
Bookman.
Artie.
Name I remember. Number one.
Another senior.
He play any defense or he was just a receiver?
No, he played
Corner
defense.
too.
Okay.
Corner, yeah.
too,
He was
yeah.
honestly something happened. He got injured.
He had mono.
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 He played that
Who's running the
position.
ball
Jerry
now?
played.
Is that Jerry
Not
Murphy?
taking it away from Jerry.
Is that me and
He played that
Enzo in the
position
same
really
backfield?
well.
At least
No, I think
That's Brett.
yeah.
that's
Brett.
Brett.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Brett?
For Brett.
Nice.
Nice job, Sneds.
Dude, I like myself better at fullback.
That's it's a 30-point game, and you know our starting tailback is playing fullback and blocking people. Like
Yeah, let's highlight Snedeker here. I didn't see this in the original film. We're going to toss out. Oh, my. Okay, Snedeker.
Might have been a little bit of holding, but
Just
gonna
tackle
say,
him.
you
You just wrap him up. You just wrap him up, took him down.
Tackle.
you tackled him, but it's fine. Sneds.
Yeah, you just hugged him to the ground.
the refs were like, you know what? It's all good. It's all good.
This is Macris again. So you see a lot of Brett Macris. Now, he's a junior. I mean, this is a great run. You break through for a touchdown.
There you go.
Probably.
But there's
Mayor was probably so excited on the sidelines for that one.
That was his
Oh,
protege,
yeah.
bro.
Oh, that was his boy.
Now, does
Macris.
anyone know why he doesn't play his senior year? He's definitely a guy we could have, used. I know Murphy had a great junior year, but
I don't remember that, Panio. I don't remember that
he
far
didn't
back.
play. When I was a freshman, he definitely didn't play. I didn't even know he existed, to be honest.
I think he only played 1 year too. This is the only year he played, I think.
Yeah.
Nah, I think he played his sophomore year too. I think he was on varsity B too.
Okay.
Because we had a varsity. He was varsity B, I think, the year before.
I
No, he didn't.
want to say he got hurt.
Yeah, I think he did get hurt. Something happened.
Wow, Patson in the
Yeah,
second.
Jerry's out of the game. You guys are up 30. Look like we're trying to get a handoff to Brian Latin.
Ugh.
I didn't go well.
Lion was so mad.
Third down. Macris just squeezes through. Fourth down. Obvious going for it. Handoff again. Macris outside.
Yeah.
Another first down. I know Snedeker says one of the odd points as a coach, like, do you put on a last touchdown? Keep your starters.
Yes.
I know.
It's only the second quarter, though.
Yeah.
But the first 3 quarters are live. That's the way I see it.
Great run by Brian Latin here. This time Macris goes through.
Do we start the second half? We might start the second half.
I don't remember.
No, it's still second quarter.
No, I'm sorry. I think we go back in. I don't know. I don't think we do, Jer. If they took us out.
This was the last game of the season, right?
Yeah, but we didn't really take that many breaks. I don't remember.
I remember sitting a lot of second halves this year, guys.
Yeah,
Our whole line's in still. What the hell?
yeah. The line stays in. The backs come out, and you have some new receivers in.
The thing is for experience.
Yeah.
Mayer's always scouting talent. He was like already worried about the following year. He wanted to know who his starter was going to be.
Also, it was the last week of the regular season, right before playoffs. So you didn't want anybody getting hurt in a 30-point win.
No, not complaining. I think it was smart. If we were blowing them out,
I think you're complaining, Snez.
I just said someone had a 351-yard game. If I stayed in,
351, not 352, not 349.
351.
The game they're referencing, Eastchester fans, is the Week 6 fall game. If you haven't checked it out, please go watch the Kevin Murphy 351-yard game. Eastchester Hastings. That's a good one.
Go K-Murph.
It's actually interesting. I have a little surprise at the end of the video that I'm going to share with you guys.
Blickman punted that, by the way.
Who is that?
Oh, Blickman punted?
Blickman on the punt.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here for the little fun facts I'm missing.
That was awesome. I forgot he was our backup punter.
Okay, so I know for a fact, this is just a random tidbit. I know for a fact when you're up big in a game, Coach Fred coaches harder than he usually coaches. Because right now you don't have 11 guys on defense, and Fred is going to probably go crazy if I know him well enough. Up 30 points. Only having 11 guys on, but looks like this is the end of the half here. See if they do anything. They try a jet. Great hustle there by the sophomore Crispo. And Lorenzo was there as well.
I think we still play defense. Yeah, Beast is still in.
Yeah, I don't think you want
It's Fred.
No.
Yeah, it's Fred. He doesn't want, take everyone on offense, but leave everybody on.
He didn't take us out on defense.
Oh, what a play. Let's watch this one. I'm sorry, guys.
That's the one-handed pick. Yeah.
Through Cal?
Yeah. He had a game.
He's insane.
Yeah,
Man.
he did.
Yeah.
This was a good game for him, man.
That was. This is probably his best game as a senior by far.
I think
He just does it.
No. The Walter Panis game, he had 181 yards.
Oh,
yeah. Panis game was tougher competition.
Complete
incredible
game though. I mean, like his impact on defense in this game, even early on too, was pretty crazy.
Yeah, the tackle.
I hear you.
2 picks.
I hear you. Yeah, he filled the whole stat sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughing the passer. Do we know who the culprit is? We don't want to highlight, but That's going to be Brucal had a lot of touchdowns.
The refs. That was the culprit.
Now they run a slant and go. Great coverage, Carideo.
Ooh.
God, AC.
Wow, bold.
Jerry getting in there.
Should have picked it.
Oh, that's why I came out. I probably roughed the passer.
They try a little slant and go on Jerry, but you're in good position there to knock it away. I'm not sure what the penalty was. Good coverage, though. Whole lot of yellow flags.
No, that was J Murph's side, not my side.
Yeah, that was pass interference. So I guess maybe
That's bull. BS.
good tackle there. The Carideo drive, another good tackle by Carideo coming up on sweep. Try to get a little inside handoff. The entire team's there.
The one thing about this team too is like we always had hats around the ball. Always.
Yeah.
A whole lot of blue.
Brian,
There's our motto.
A lot of blue.
Brian,
Whole lot of blue.
off the edge. Yeah, that's a term we've kept around. Whole lot of blue in the picture. Latin with the sack. Who's 73? Is that Antonio Chiero?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good to see him. I always liked him. Good to see him getting some run there.
He's a very passionate player.
Yeah, he got hurt. That's what happened. Antonio got hurt. He broke his collarbone.
Gotcha. I loved him as a senior. He was good. So I don't know what happened here. I think they might start with an onside kick or something because you guys get the ball in great field position to start here. Provino in motion. And it's going to be a lot of Latin and a lot of Macris.
Yeah, I don't think we passed the rest of that game. Not like we did a lot, but
Yeah, as the current offensive coordinator, if we throw in this situation, I throw a pick, he'll fire me. So I'm sure the rules were the same back in 01, 03 era. Third down coming.
Just feel like 36-6 isn't enough. You need at least 50.
14 more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
3 and
agree.
coming. And we got our punter on a high snap. Who's the punter here?
Matt Blickman.
Matt Blick.
Look,
Oh, nice.
Good.
Does anyone remember Coach Mayer like hyping these guys up like they were gonna kick our ass?
He hyped them up every single week, and he would leave the little things in our locker. You remember that?
Right?
Oh, yeah.
In our locker.
I just remember being. I think I just remember being like in the second quarter, like no.
That coach lied to me again.
Yeah, I did it all. When I was an offensive coordinator, I did the same thing. Yo, these guys are really good. Number 78, he's a monster. You gotta watch it.
Santa, when he was the JV head coach, used to just lie and say every team was undefeated and unscored upon.
Yep.
All right, well, you got third down and 15 coming up. Again, Pearl River's back in their own end zone. They're going to try a slant and go. Breaks down contain, and Jerry Murphy was in on the tackle there.
that was good defense by the cornerback.
Yeah, the corner to this side really just,
That was
smart.
Blick.
Yeah.
With the arm bar.
That's a good corner technique. Who's that returning? You guys know I couldn't tell. Murphy, maybe?
28.
Yeah, it's probably J Murph.
Again, you see though, another caught punt right there.
Good field position again. Macris along the right side. So who are some linemen we have in here now? Obviously, Santa's still in. Am I crazy that Pete Nigro went to right guard?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is Scout O right now.
Yeah, Scout O. This is Scout O.
They try a toss out this way. Antonio Chiero's in, I see.
So this is what the defense used to practice against.
Right. Try an inside handoff here. Getting a little sloppy, but this is what happens when you're playing with some of the younger guys. I'm sure you guys aren't thrilled that you're punting again inside after good field position.
Yeah.
Oh, they brought the house, Pearl River. You'll see Pearl River really doesn't ever give up in this game. They're going to throw their kitchen sink at everyone in this game. They got some funky plays coming still. Because the inside handoff isn't really working. The outside handoff isn't working either. Got a little success throwing, a little. Carideo.
Yep.
Nice.
It's a shame because I was young when I watched you guys, but I always thought Ann was more of just a receiver. You played a lot of defense. You played really well, man.
Yeah, Panio, you see that stick, dude, and that one too.
I just knew you were a receiver. I'm wrong. I for some reason I thought Latin played Will. I don't know why.
I don't know what you guys teach now, but like as cornerbacks, if we used to come up, we used to try to just take their legs out.
We do. It's called a hawk tackle. We do it as. Oh my God, Carideo again? Carideo again.
Yeah, Panio.
Look, the guys are just flying over our hawk tackles.
Yeah, I mean,
We're like,
that even just the way these guys contain. I mean, they put everything back in the middle, which is such a good.
Should be called the eagle tackle, not a hawk tackle.
It's from the Seahawks. We learned it from them. That's where. Yeah, they're the ones that came up.
They must have got it from us.
Definitely sus.
Good discipline by us there, I think, on a third down to not jump off sides. Inside handoff. Whole lot of white. Not a whole lot of blue in this film, but a whole lot of white. Is Mike Silvestrian, 58?
Big Mike.
Oh, Mike Silvestri. That's him.
Yep. They got Mike Silvestri off the ball there. Mike's a great kid. Good to see him getting some action there. A lot of heart.
Love Mikey.
Love Mikey.
Um, 88 Alex Aji. Is that still 88 from – you guys remember him?
I remember Alex.
Yeah. He was he had a pretty good senior year. He played some fullback.
Yeah, he's good.
Tony, every single person on the team was friends with everybody from doesn't matter what grade you were. It was just like really just a big
I want that. It's funny, Jerry, bringing that up. Yeah, I mean, one of the most together teams you've ever seen. I mean, really no ego. Everybody got along. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I think Beezer could talk about the early years too, especially like you don't really see that with a lot of teams.
Yeah, we all just loved each other.
Just everybody, you know.
That's true.
Lilia just had a big tackle. Now we're getting some pressure off the edge by San Gregorio. Throw it down the field. Guess who? I think it's Carideo.
Again, they're trying to abuse this kid, and he ain't taking it.
He's not having it.
He ain't having it. He said, "You see that, ref? I just slapped that away. You gonna call flag on that?"
You guys forget I was only a receiver back then, guys.
Still today.
I was in 8th grade. And I was probably talking to your brother, Mikey, telling me how you're a great receiver and never mentioned defense.
That's your first mistake.
And another inside handoff. I mean, must be nice just to know they're not going to get anything on the inside, even with the second group in here.
We used to get so mad at yards.
How pissed did we get, man, at yards, son?
Remember, we got 1 yard, be like, too much.
I do remember.
I definitely remember that.
So I don't
Used
know.
to yell at us.
Wait, was number 80 Alb?
It was.
It was all.
It was all.
Yeah. All slinging.
I'm getting a tackle.
So I didn't know who to give this to. I gave it to Lilia for the forced fumble, and I think he recovered it too.
Wow.
But they were driving there. A couple of penalties. We get it back. Aji's pumped up. It looked like Lilia had it. And we're
I
back.
definitely see Lillian running off the field with the ball in his hands like, yeah, I got it.
Latin in at fullback.
Now we're going to the fourth quarter. So that third quarter is a lot faster than the first quarter.
Yeah. 29 – was it 29 points in the first quarter?
Yeah. Now, Tony, is that a record, 29 points in one quarter?
So it's actually a funny question. Santa, when we played John Jay in the playoffs, was it 29 we put up? Was it the same number?
I think it might have been the same number.
Yeah, it's at least – it might be tied. I mean, I can't go back past the last 20 years. I can't speak to the 90s and 80s, but I would certainly say within the last 20 years.
And you guys could blame me because I missed an extra point. It would have been 30.
Yeah.
Come on, Beezer.
Don't be hard on yourself.
Oh, I see is Coach Santa. The Coach Santa that I know as a player right now, as a center, not happy. Great block, Santa.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you.
The guy couldn't catch a break. We used to put Paul Kendall into snap one time. I think he fumbled and flushed. That was it. Santa's back.
Okay. You had one center base.
Flush.
One mistake, you're flushed.
All right, here's one of their trick plays. They try a little toss pass back. They throw it to Jerry, complete, and into the end zone here.
Nice. Jerry Murphy.
This is like how they play this fourth quarter. Let's go back to it. They run a sweep.
Missed tackle, my fault.
The quarterback goes out. Good effort by Murphy. Couple missed tackles.
That's a tough play.
You guys think they were coming back at this point? I was getting a little nervous.
Yeah, that's why you got to have 50 on the board.
Yeah.
I agree, Seth. 50.
50.
Then they try inside handoff for the 2-point conversion, 36-14. And I was wondering, like, all right, maybe Coach Fred's going to put the starters back in, but
Nah, he probably was threatening at that point, though.
Yeah, for sure. He was down Mayor's back.
Forte didn't think the onside kick was worth getting, so with that.
At least we were.
Forte. Oh.
Forte, man, that's great.
Oh,
Sleep on that one.
We had good field position here, but all credit to the junior team here because they're going to get a little feistiness here. And I don't know. I wanted to just – does anyone know an interesting player that gets a handoff in this game in the end of the fourth quarter?
I need a number.
I think it's Pete. Doesn't
Oh,
Pete
yeah, Pete.
Pete.
I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I'm curious if you remembered that.
Pete, did you get a handoff in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't remember, Pete. You don't remember at all.
Great handoff there to Brian Lattin. I noticed Brian Lattin has a couple big runs in this game, and like all of them get called back. He was probably not very happy.
Lan was a tough kid.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Very tough. Brett, too.
Yeah.
Tough kid.
That was Lattin again. A little
Ball
buckle.
back.
Those three, right? Nick, Latin, and Brett, probably the tougher of the juniors.
Yeah, what's his name? Brian Lattin played Blue Devils with me also since like a kid.
There you go. Another Blue Devil guy.
Yeah.
I remember him when I was a freshman. He was a senior. He was tough-nosed, but he didn't play the entire year for various reasons. He used to run ISO at me as a freshman, and he would not take it easy. It was no fun. Now getting the ball going. Macris on the outside here. Gets a key first down. Probably like 6 minutes left in the game.
Tony, that was probably because when he was younger, Brucal was running ISO at him in practice.
Yeah.
So
Right.
he was paying the favor.
Yeah, he learned hard.
Yeah, exactly. He learned the hard way. Try to pass it on.
I got my butt kicked a little by those guys. Here comes Macris again. Nice to see the junior and the underclassmen there get one in. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate he didn't play his senior year. Who's the kicker? It's not Beezer.
I forget who that was.
Agron?
Pat? Might have been Pat.
Okay.
Well, might have been Pat.
I think it was like Agron or something, wasn't it?
Agron kicked his senior year. He got the body shape of Agron. I could see that.
Yeah, maybe.
Pete. Oh, Pete, you're here. Got it. Yo, Pete, do you remember all the fake calls we used to do at the band when we came in the second team.
Oh my God, all the
We
time.
used to make up calls. We used to talk so much trash. It was so much fun.
It was the best. I loved it.
42-14. Got a kickoff coming. Game's in hand now. Now we're just going to try and keep him out of the end zone one more time. And we start getting some even younger guys in. I know Bob Marama is going to get in for the first time. A couple other guys.
Amarama.
Wow.
You know, shout 'em out.
He's a scout D extraordinaire.
He took a lot of abuse on Scout D also. Man.
Oh yeah, he definitely
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Oh.
He did.
And a champ.
He got up every time.
Yeah.
I got a number 22 sighting over there.
Oh, go back, Tony.
Yeah.
Go back.
The cheerleaders?
I gotta give a shout out to somebody, not the cheerleaders, Panio.
What are they doing?
Hold on.
Watch for the person. What? That's Mr. Z right there.
Oh yeah,
Oh, Mr. Z.
it's a legend.
Mr. Z.
Legend.
Mr. Z.
Right there, top of the screen.
Mr.
Mr.
Z
Z.
was the man.
Tony, we
man.
used to have these random guys just on the sideline. Mr. Z. Where did
Yeah, I heard.
Coach Perry.
he come from?
And Coach Perry.
Coach Perry drive you down. He came parachuted in.
Shooting it.
Didn't he hide in a garbage can one time?
Hey, what's up,
Comes out
guys?
of nowhere.
Right, Pete?
Oh,
Didn't he hide in the garbage
Bro,
can?
he would show up. He would show up in the most random spots ever.
It'd be at practice. You turn
would
around and be
only-
like this. Good job, guys.
He'd
Good
come
job."
to like one practice a week. He'd just be clapping all of a sudden. We had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what about Coach Mike? Was it another coach? Was
Oh.
Coach Joe? Was Coach Mike also?
Yeah.
Dilia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy.
He was the varsity B coach with Coach Joe.
Here comes
Yeah.
one of their, my God. They just keep running this play, this little toss pass. I think that's Bob Marama chasing it.
Is it?
He's in on the top.
Yeah. Nice. He might have had a concussion.
47.
Yeah. Caridio, they won't take you out this game, huh?
Yeah,
I don't
it
think we had a
seems like it.
Will.
I don't remember playing this late though, but I guess
And I don't think we had another Will.
no. I think I moved to safety because they took Lorenzo out. You know,
Oh, gotcha.
Already
I wasn't
there to run the defense.
they didn't really care about me too much this year. You know, remember the first
Only
game of the year?
You're only a
Santa,
receiver.
I was a Will.
What's
So
there to
yeah, we
worry
didn't
about?
have another Will.
Remember the first
Oh,
game of the year where the Beezer got cramp? Me and Beezer got hurt on the same play, and then the newspaper ran like Beezer got cramped, and then they were like, "Caridio's funeral will be like next week," and small print.
That's good.
Like, but don't worry,
You're on-
Beezer will play next week.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That's good,
somebody else
man.
got
Somebody
else got hurt.
What was the?
somebody else got
what-
hurt. Number four, Caridio got
Yeah.
hurt. Too.
What was the? It was like all cramping
All
inside.
cramping
right?
aside, yeah.
I remember that. All cramping inside. Breznicky will play next week.
Well, and I got to say, you might be the defensive player of the game the way you played the second half. You and
Nah, it's got to be Brucal, man.
Yeah.
Brucal was all over.
Yeah.
So I got to say, Pearl River, they might be the only team to have 3 touchdowns versus all of them on running back toss passes. Here comes a third.
That's unbelievable.
Look at this.
You know, Fred's flipping out right now. By the way, on the sideline.
That's why he didn't want to watch this game.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
later, guys. I'm not watching this. He doesn't-
All 3 touchdowns run.
He's
Running
like, he's
pass.
like you won. He's like you won 42-21. I don't care. 3 touchdowns.
Three touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Did they not score on that?
Yeah,
Oh,
they scored 42-22.
This
And-
might be the most. This might be the most points scored
Points we
against
gave.
us all year.
Might be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
they're all
probably is.
practices. Who the hell practices this stuff? And then
Hey,
this,
wasn't it? Wasn't
I
it?
think
Pearl
I
River?
think everybody played in this game though. I think if you were to ask Fred, he made it a point to get almost every player on the team in at least for one play.
Yeah,
yeah,
everyone
I
was
think
in.
there. So that's a lot. Like in this fourth quarter, didn't matter whether you were sophomore or senior, you played in this game. So
Yeah.
and that's a testament to Fred too, because he
Yeah,
did not have to
definitely
do that at all.
Yeah, especially because they just did an onside kick there. Like this
Right.
is frustrating. Their
They're,
coach
they're,
did an onside
they're
kick.
scoring touchdowns
Wait,
on us.
Chris-
Like they're
Chris, if this was 3 years earlier, would this be happening right now? Absolutely.
Score would have been the other way.
yeah.
So this guy with the Red Sox, number 42, is this a young sophomore Kevin Murphy coming in? Let me know, guys, because
Kevin Murphy was 24. Pete Lott wore 42.
Yeah,
Pete Lott.
Pete Lott was 42. Yeah.
Pete Lott had some crazy runs. He had one crazy run when we were in JV against Valhalla. He went like 99 yards out of nowhere.
Yeah, he has a good senior year at the receiver.
Was that the Pete Carey right there?
Let's go back to it as he almost falls down.
Yeah, it's Pete Carey.
So
You fell all the way off the field, Pete.
how did
Oh my God, was that the carry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Buck. I think it was Buck.
Yeah.
Pete, I was looking out for you, bro.
My man.
Pete,
I forgot about
I will never
that. Oh
be
my
jealous
God.
of that.
Yeah, what the hell, Bees? What's that about?
Yeah. I do remember itching. I'm like, all right, it's my turn. It's my turn.
And actually, I kicked a field goal in our first game, and I missed it.
Yeah.
That's
That was
what I do
so
remember.
random. I don't even know why.
Pete, you're
These are
smooth,
cramped.
man.
These are cramped.
All cramping aside.
All grabbing his eye.
Carideo, that was the headline. All cramping aside, Nigro kicks extra points. And
And Carideo dies.
Now I see why Fred gets the Gatorade shower, because you guys had just finished an undefeated regular season.
There's Dilly.
Oh yeah, that's right. I knew that was coming.
He's
That's
so
the surprise.
Who got him, Bees?
I really don't remember. I think it was.
I think we did go to McDonald's after this game.
I feel like Bees is the only one strong enough to get him with the Gatorade.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Right?
Definitely wasn't me.
Knee there. So we have a couple things we want to just do. We have the box score. You see a very team effort, in terms of that 29-point first quarter. We have a little surprise after this. Disregard the records. You guys are, I think, 6-0 at this point. They're probably something like 3-3 or 2-4 or 4-2. And just a dominant effort. When you see 4 different runners get touchdown, that's obviously really awesome. Jerry got a lot of his passing done in the first quarter, 3 for 4, 63 yards, through that big waggle to Brucal to kind of get the game started there. Let's see here. It's just I don't know what else to say. You guys were just a balanced team. Snedeker, averaged something like only 4 carries. I can't believe that, but you guys have the game in hand. Averaging something like 30 yards a carry. It's pretty good. Brucal, 5 carries, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging about 12 yards a carry. Lorenzo, 2 for 39. Macris had the big workload in the second half, had 14 for 37 and that touchdown. Brian Latin, 6 for 28. You have your receivers there. Now, I didn't do the tackles. I would probably say, because now it's funny because I just heard the story, I would probably say both Beezer and Carideo both had 5 tackles. But since I am not a good guy, I only put Beezer's name, so I apologize about that, Anthony. But since you said
It's all right, Penny. I love you.
You can't get tackled.
Brendan had 2 interceptions too. He had one in the first, and then he had that one-handed one later on.
They called that roughing the passer, so I guess I couldn't count it. But yes, he did have that second one, which was really nice.
Carideo, how could you have tackles when you only play receiver? You only play offense.
And then, obviously, Carideo had the big interception, a couple pass deflections. Brian Latin, 2 sacks. Mike Lilia, forced fumble. Lou Crispo, fumble recovery. I did forget Nick San Gregorio. I apologize, Nick, if you're watching this. Number 66 junior had the big sack in the second quarter. So that's the box score. Now, I've never done something like this, but I think there was a special message that came from the last Eastchester Vault. So I'm just going to play this out a little bit, and let's just have a conversation before we wrap up about what you guys think about this, because I think this is pretty cool. Give it a second to load up. Give it a second. It'll be there. really appreciated that, and it set the foundation for what I thought the next 2 years of my football career should be. So I don't know if I've ever really mentioned that to you guys, but you guys were role models to me as a sophomore, and ultimately, we had a lot of success my junior and really my senior year, just following your guys' path. So I really do want to, credit you guys for that. And I know I speak for Greg Hudson as well, who thought the same exact thing for you guys. So I want to say thank you first before you guys, start going into your, wrap up here.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. And I'm sure all of us here could say the same thing about the guys above us, specifically when we were sophomores, watching Beezer, Brucal, Lorenzo, Snedeker, watching all those guys, Cesarini, Carideo. My brother was on that team. Just watching the way they did it, I'm sure we felt the exact same way. And then to have you carry that over, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely cyclical. I know we definitely looked up to those guys. They did a great job. They took us under the wing, and I felt like they really kicked off like a period of Eastchester football that was, a special time to play. There was a lot of success. There was a lot of good culture. It felt like we were at a football school there for a moment. And then even Tony, when you were a sophomore, we were the seniors. Like we maybe didn't talk about it, but like we were hoping we were having that effect on the guys coming up, and that it's something that could, this intangible thing that could be passed down.
It did, 100%.
I mean, what a special time. I remember Santoianni too. Like we were friends, and I was a younger guy, like friends with a senior, and we were all on the football team. That feeling it uplifts you. But think about that era of football, and then look at the coaching staff now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What a special time. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, Santa went back and coached myself.
Yeah.
And, it's a very good point. It was a special time. The 2000s era, for sure. So I thought that was pretty cool to share with you guys, that effect you had on that eventual 2005 team. So any thoughts about that before we go into the wrap up?
Well, I kind of think that's what a big part of why we played too, right? Is to kind of set the bar and have the younger guys kind of follow kind of what we did, and then also kind of what like Bosco did for us, and those guys, like those guys were tough guys. Like I think it was our sophomore year, it was their senior year.
Jesse Bliss.
Yeah, Jesse Bliss and those guys, and we had no shot to make the playoffs. Like everyone had us at like the very bottom, and we made the playoffs. And during that year, the playoffs was it was only 4 teams instead of 8 too.
Yeah.
So that year we were in the top 4 teams, and when we weren't even supposed to be in maybe even win 1 game. So
I think the year before they were like 0-2. Did they have a win the year before? Beast, their freshman.
No, I think they were 1-7 or 1-8 or something.
So it's that's kind of why, like, a small town like this, that's kind of why we kind of play football and try to set a standard, and that's kind of what it's all about, that we kind of affected the younger class to do good and strive to be better than us. And it was a really big family feel to our team. Like, it was just everybody with everyone, regardless of if you're a senior, a freshman, or a sophomore, and we all had each other's backs too, which was great, But
not only on the field, but everywhere.
The younger guys, I mean, they were good guys too, like Murphy, Crispo, Dante, Tarsia, Dave DiFrano, all those guys. I mean, they cared about
Micah Halen.
They cared about football, but they just were good guys. Like, they were fun to hang out. Like B said, and everybody, it was more of a family, than a team. You know,
role models to them for real.
Yeah, but you got to. We were around each other all the time. Like Friday night when Fred used to call us for curfew, we used to be out before a game, you know. And then Friday morning, we had like 23 people at Friendly's eating breakfast before the game.
Yeah.
And then
after the games,
literally,
we used to go to candlelight.
Yeah, we used to be with each other literally. And then the best was, this is before Twitter and social media and all that other junk. I remember, Bees, we used to go to Fuzzy Garcia's with the newspaper when Brucal and Pete were working. We used to be a bunch of us, and we used to read the newspaper about all the games. I remember, and it was literally Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we'd be back at practice on Monday. It was just literally a whole 7 days we were with each other all the time. And it was not pushed upon us. It was like, we always included the younger kids and the older kids, and it doesn't matter. Everyone was included. Like, you know, we're going here. Everyone's invited. Let's go. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. I think to pick off of what Santa's saying is like everyone had a role. It didn't matter if you were a sophomore, a junior, a senior. Everybody felt like they were important for those few, or for the 3 years that I was there. And like, you know, even Kevin and Lou kind of said it too. Like we passed it on to them. Like it didn't matter whether you were a sophomore or senior. You were part of the team. We were all teammates. Everybody was working for the same goal. Like we just wanted to win. We didn't have anybody on the team that wanted to be a superstar. We just had guys that went out every Saturday and played, and that translated to practice. And like Santa was saying, like we hung out all the time. Like if you were on the football team, you were just part of the crew. It just didn't matter. Like you were there. You know, we made everyone feel important. You know, and that's how I felt too. Like I'm here with this group of guys right now, bona fide starters, like contributing every Saturday. Like my contributions were never on Saturday, but I would hope that like my Tuesday and Wednesday contributions, you know, and like I would always stand there on the sidelines with guys like Kevin, with guys like Lou, and be like, look, we're winning this game because we kicked their ass on Tuesday in practice, you know, like that's the whole point. Like you want to build that culture. So, you know, that's the only way it's going to work.
Very well said, Gaudio. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely.
That is the only thing that we did. The only thing we did was eat, drink, sleep, football during the season. We would go out after games and would just celebrate together. It was just a lot of fun.
Friday night dinners, we didn't want to leave. We would hang out in the parking lot. We would hang out in the free lobby of the gym. Like we wanted to be together. Like we just wanted to all hang out. So
that's great that those younger guys say it, but they might be full of shit.
One thing that I do want to mention, which I think should be brought back, is that Jerry's father talked to us our senior year before that first dinner.
That's right.
And it was a very heartfelt speech about like what Eastchester meant and like what football meant to him. And I don't remember a lot, but that's something that definitely stuck with me till this day, where he just talked about kind of what football meant to him living in Eastchester, you know, kind of the good times in high school, you know, the friendships. I think it was Jerry's dad, and then I think it was somebody else, but I definitely remember that, and just always thought that was good, and it set the tone for us too. You know, just kind of I think that brought us together more too, saying that you know this is not just about football too. You know, it's about Eastchester. It's about coming together. So
yeah. I don't know. I appreciate that, Bees. I don't know exactly, you know, I don't even think I've ever shared this story even with Santa, who I obviously coached with, and he coached me for a while. So the big reason why I played, I'm not sure if you guys ever knew this or not, big reason why I ended up playing football was I never played my whole life. The first year I played football was in 9th grade. I ended up accidentally signing up for the varsity team. This is a true story, instead of the modified team. And then when I got around the culture of the thing, Fred wouldn't let me leave. But the reason why I'm bringing up the story is I remember the reason and the moment I decided I was going to play football. You guys were playing Panis for the first game, and I'm fairly certain it was Brucal, but it might have been Snedeker. took an inside handoff early in the game and then started running towards the direction of the street, okay, like towards the stands and breaking away for a 70-yard touchdown. And I remember I was sitting watching my first football game, and the crowd was going crazy. But after he scored, I remember looking at the field. Your team had like something like 50 guys, just everyone jumping up and down, going crazy, hugging each other. And I'm like, it's like in the first, second quarter of the game. You know, but I could tell that it was a culture and a thing that I really wanted to be a part of. And not so to speak that the rest was history, but it was watching that play, watching that game, and that run where I decided, yeah, you know, I want to play this. I never played before, and I ended up playing and having a great experience. And obviously here I am talking to you guys now. That was 2003. This is now 18 years later. You know, I'm offensive coordinator of the team that I've been with for 17, 18 years. But it was watching you guys, and then I watched a couple more games that year. But it was that play at that point in the season, and then you guys really went on a hell of a run. And I was like, that's something I want to be a part of. And by the time I became a senior, we had a very similar team. You know, very close knit group. Always did everything together, and had a very successful season too. So I like to think somewhere along my journey as an Eastchester football player and coach, you guys had a lot to do with that. So I want to say thank you to you guys seriously.
Thank you, Tony.
Oh, we thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great examples are contagious. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of how the program goes. You know, it's generational. Chris can speak on it because, Chris and Beezer and Brical were there a year before all of us really got there and did pay those dues and didn't have that same success, but did buy in. And it takes that. Fred used to say it all the time, like, you guys want to show up and just fuck around and, whatever. I have other better things to do. Right. But if you guys buy in, we can do something here. And it really makes a difference. It made a difference in your life. It makes a difference in these kids now coming up. K-Murph that year, it's just it's a domino effect. And I'm so happy to be a part of it. These are my guys forever.
Yeah.
And
forever.
Play football for those reasons. And it teaches you discipline, dedication, hard work. Come on, play football.
Life lesson.
Amen to that.
Yeah, really well said, Kevin. And I'm going to definitely send that message out. And a lot of what you guys are saying to the younger generation, like, I think it transcends not the test of time, but I think they have more an effect on other people than they think. And you guys are, walking examples of that, whether it was for me or for the Crispos, the Murphys, that generation, and going forward. So I think that's a great message. If anyone wants to share anything else just about the season, just before I let you guys go and say your final thoughts and we stop the recording, you guys can hang on the Zoom as long as possible once I stop the recording. Completely up to you guys. But I'm thinking is we're going to try and do this, maybe like once a year for the foreseeable future. So like the teams, like you guys had other great games. So sometime next year, or maybe around this time, we'll try and do another game, try and bring everyone back together. See, we got Lorenzo, Lilia. If you guys are down, we'll do another one. I know other teams are down too.
Of course.
So, we won't do any more this year, but after the next regular season, we'll try and do another one. So definitely keep your phones on. And
you got to get ready for the season. So
no
more looking back, looking forward now.
Yeah, and then Tony, if there's anything too we could do, like Beezer's talking about Jerry's father speaking, before the season and what that meant. If there's any opportunities like that to be involved, let us know. I would love to start doing more of that. I would do my best there for something like that.
And it's so easy with Zoom. You don't even have to be in the state anymore, honestly. It is such an easy thing. So yeah, let's definitely go with that a little bit and see what we can do with that. Because I think the younger generation does like hearing from the alumni a lot more than we would think, and we would think as alumni. They do. They look up to you guys, even if they don't fully know you, hearing your stories and stuff. But any final thoughts, guys, about the game, the season? I know we have a lot more great memories, but if there's anything we want to wrap up, let's say it now, and then we'll stop the recording.
You guys are my brothers, man. I love you. I miss all you guys. It's good to see all your faces tonight, man. I love it.
Cut your hair.
Pete says it best, right? Pete says it best. We're all brothers, right? We could be in the same room. We could be across the country. We could not see each other for 10 years. You see each other, you pick up just like that. And that's what the football culture in Eastchester should be.
Yeah.
You should see guys that you played with, and you should just instantly be like, oh man, that's my brother right there. You know, that's the message.
100%.
I love you.
Miss
Pete.
it.
I love you.
Love you, man.
All right, guys. I gotta go back to work, but I do love you.
Are you fired?
I love you guys.
I'm not fired. Amazingly, I'm not. I'll see you guys though. Tony, thanks for doing this.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
Tony, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, we'll stop the recording now. You guys can, of course, hang on and talk as much as you want. I'll keep the Zoom open, but we will stop Eastchester Vault Week 8. We appreciate the 2003 team coming in, one of my personal favorites, and we'll pick up Week 9 next week at the same time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tony.
Take care,
Tony.
guys.
Tony.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank God that